Hey guys, at BV Matson here. Time to tear apart the rear fender because we need to get this rear light mount into the sandblaster. So there's some wiring that we have to worry about here because the wiring actually runs through the fender, up underneath, and up into the light. So we need to dig this all out. So what we're going to do is we're going to be very careful here. I'm actually going to use just a little bit of WD-40 to lube up the spot where the wiring actually is popping through here. We don't want to break these wires, okay? So we're just gonna slowly push these wires down. You might have to do maybe one at a time. It's a pretty tight little fit here. Pull those out. Try not to break the little bullet ends off when we're doing this, and we'll pull those out. All right, so that's good. We got this grommet that we'll need to deal with as well. Then we're gonna flip it over, and you can see, if I can adjust it here, here's the wires we just took out, and the wires actually run through a channel, this channel right here, and up into the light. Now these can be pretty fussy to get out of here, all right? Not gonna lie. So I'm actually gonna just kind of lube this up. It's not gonna hurt anything to lube this up. God, look how dirty that is. We'll get this all into the sandblaster. We'll clean it all up. But these can be pretty crusty. So again, you just gotta be patient with what you're doing here. We're gonna try to get a hold of one of them and start pulling them out one at a time here. So I'm gonna pull that out. I'm gonna try to give you a little bit better look at what we're doing here. All right, there you can see just a little bit better. I got my camera zoomed pretty aggressively. I was using a small Phillips screwdriver to try and get my hands on this first one. We're gonna feed it through and try to pull that out without wrecking it. It'd be great if we could avoid wrecking it. It gets easier as you get one out. So here we go, our red one's coming through. Again, we'll have to put these all back, of course, which is easier said than done. We'll have to do a wire feed and pull that on through. But we're just gonna be careful, one at a time. It's pretty grimy under here. This rear fender gets a lot of abuse, a lot of dirt. There we go. There's the second one out. And we're just gonna be, again, real careful. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 here. See if we can go 3 for 3 on this. Give it a little push, and we're in luck, guys. We'll be able to pull this off. We'll be able to pull this right out, just like that. And now, we're in really great shape. Let me switch the camera around, and we'll keep going. All right, so now we're looking at the back of the light here. Let me give you a little bit of elevation here so you can see a little bit better what I'm looking at. There we go, trying to keep it on the table at the same time. But we've got 2 bolts here, and then we've got 2 bolts right up in behind the light right here. Now, these are 8mm. I don't recall having to use an 8mm on anything else on a CB or a CL motorcycle. So you'll need your 8mm. This, of course, is 10mm. And if you flip it over, there's gonna be 2 more right here. Those are 10mm as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll try to get the main light off first, all right? So I'm gonna go grab my 10mm ratchet or socket, and we'll get right to this. And again, these have been soaking, right? We've been soaking everything since the moment we got this bike, so this should all come out really nice and clean. One thing to note on these is that there is a little rubber ring on these bolts, so we want to make sure that we're keeping this stuff all squared away. We're using, you know, bags to label our parts and all that, and I'll show you one of these here real quick. Pull that out. A very unique bolt. All right, there's a washer, and then there's a rubber O-ring in here. All right, it's on the actual brace, so we'll have to get that out. But take a look at these bolts. Real different, guys. You don't want to lose these, so I'm going to be real careful with those as we kind of keep going. We'll get the second one out, and that should be done. Again, we'll pull that out, and there's going to be that funky bolt and a washer. All right, so let's flip it around. Let's see if we can still see what's going on here. Yep, perfect look at it. And we'll pop in here. And hopefully we'll be just as lucky over here. I'm gonna pull these out, get these nice and loose. Yeah, these are a piece of cake. This light will clean up perfect. I mean, once we get this brace into the sandblaster, I mean, it's gonna look brand new in no time. It's just the wiring on these is kind of funky, and then getting the light off can be kind of tricky too. So again, washer and a funky bolt. All right. Luckily, it does appear that all of these are the same. So as long as you got 4 of them, you should be fine. So let's pull that out. We're also going to try and just do a quick hit on the rust on this fender just to see how deep it goes. And there we go. There's our washer and there's our nut. And now right here, this light is completely free. And all you want to do, see if I can give you a good look at this, just pull these out. All right, probably pull one at a time. It's going to be easier right through the grommet. Murphy's kind of concerned, but there we go. There, our light is now independent from the fender, which is fantastic. Next, we're going to flip it over, and then here's where we're going to need to swap out. We'll have to do 2 8mm. Get your 8mm socket. I'm going to pull these 2 out here. Pretty straightforward, and then this part's going to be ready to hit the sandblaster. Not sure if I'm going to get to it today or not, but just want to get all the parts. I was going through everything the other day, and I was like, you know, I'm missing some stuff. And then I looked down and I saw the fender, and I was like, oh, yeah, I gotta get that off of there. So again, here, this one's a little bit different. There's a rubber O-ring on this one as well, and a washer. And this is a different bolt, so we want to keep this stuff all nice and separate. Actually, organize my nuts and bolts here. Flip this around. Yeah, I can get that off. We've moved indoors because of the massive heat wave. It's so hot and humid here. So we're down in the basement today where it's nice and cool. There's our second one. We'll get a bag. Now, just carefully, there's a rubber seal in here. Okay, we don't want to wreck that. Okay, but we're going to pull this out. And if you flip it around this way, you're going to see wire going up through here. And that's where we want to pull these through. Right here. Can I give you a look at that? Yeah, it's just pulling through here. And we'll get that out. Again, just try to get one through, and then everything gets easier as you go there. It is kind of a tight fit. So there you go. That's out of there. There is one really small retainer right here. Just simply want to snap onto it, bend it, and those wires will come free. And now your headlight now completely free of the bracket. So this next stop is going into the box of parts that go through the sandblaster. All right, before we go drop this in the bin, let's get these rubber O-rings out of here. No sense in sending this through sandblasting, right? So I'm just going to hit it with WD-40. All of these rubber parts are actually going to get a nice bath in, probably Armor All once we get to that point. But basically, you got to be a little aggressive with these. Push them, and then you're going to get one end started. Oh, you couldn't even see that. So just push them, get one end started, and they'll pop right out. Really, really simply. We're just going to pull it right out the back end. Don't try to pull them out. Pulling them out never really seems to work so well. Let me see if I can zoom in here just a little bit so you can see what's going on. Sorry about the rogue kind of camera angles today, guys. There we go. Now we should be able to see it. Here we go. Just going to get under the lip just a little bit, and I'm going to flip it and push it in. And don't go crazy because you don't want to wreck them, but they'll pop right out the back end. Real, real easy. Next thing, we're just going to tackle these. These are all the same, so you don't have to worry about really mixing them up. There you go. That one's through. Pop it out. There's our fourth. And then we'll go down. We'll do the same thing here. See if I can give you a really good look at how to do that. Just screwdriver in, get it underneath, and then just push it through. Okay? It's that easy. Just don't pull on them because they will wreck. So here we go. There's our 4. And we'll put those in the box as well with all of the other nuts and bolts that we've got from this piece. So with that, we're good to go. This one's ready to go in the box. A lot of sandblasting to do. But we're not sandblasting today because as you can see, damn near 90 degrees in the shop. Next part, what we got it here, we're just gonna take the front lens off, or the rear brake light lens off. Easy, Phillips screwdriver. These bolts will come right out, hopefully. Try not to round off the screws, keep them looking nice and pretty. Pull these off, and then you'll be able to see kind of what the light looks like on inside. The light's isolated, I feel good about that. Hopefully we don't find like a wasp's nest or something in there. I think it's pretty sealed. I don't think we'll see anything like that. I'm just kidding. Pull this off. One long screws here. These are all going to be the same lengths. And then again, there's going to be a rubber O-ring inside of here. Try to pry it off carefully. Boy, that doesn't like to move. Let's actually hit this. Let this soak just a little bit. That lens should come right off. All right, so I got my putty knife here, but I'm just sticking it in. I'm not scraping. I'm just twisting just a little bit just to see if it can loosen this lens up. God, I wouldn't anticipate this being so stuck on there. Not missing a step. It's just, you can hear the crud inside of it, and I really don't want to break the lens, right? So just a really subtle kind of twisting motion here. See if we can get under it. There, I can start to feel it starting to let loose. I'm just getting deep and then going real gentle lifts on all sides, and there I think it finally broke free. Yeah, it's just very seized on there, man. There, we got it. There, we got it. It's almost like there was a glue, but it's not. It's actually just the gasket. I just got to look at it. Don't want to break this gasket. See? A little hung up there. So I'm going to go real slow with this. Really, oh, yeah, it's just this corner. Go real slow with it. Bring it out. Somebody did put some glue on this at one point. It's almost like, what is that? There's some sort of like a tube glue that you can get. It's not ATV or CTV glue or whatever. Yeah, there it is. Boy, I don't want to wreck that gasket. That's my wish for the day. All right, so we're just gonna slowly, yeah, it's like almost like a contact cement or something that somebody put in here. But boy, it did a number on that gasket. Usually this will just pop right off. It's not a huge deal. So maybe somebody's been in there before. And there we go. And I think we saved the gasket as well. Just really carefully try to get that off of there. Boy, it's sticky stuff on here. I'm not sure what it is. There it is, gasket. So hopefully we can reuse it. You can always make one too, I suppose, or of course you can always go buy a new gasket. I'm sure that's always a thing too. There we go. There, it's coming off. We'll be able to clean this up really, really nicely. Get it nice and vibrant again. Let's get all the oxidation off it. Mostly it's just oxidation all over the lens. So there we go. There's the lens. There's that. And I'm actually just going to take my 4 long bolts and put it in the bin for now. And then here you have it. This is your light. Got that isolated. There's one, small gasket here. We don't really need to take this apart because all we need to do is clean, these surfaces. Look at how clean it is under here. I mean, if we can kind of mimic all of that, just clean this up. This will clean up perfectly. We can get in here, grind that all out, or sand that all out, polish that out. But there you go. There's our light. It's off. We're good to go. Let's take a look at the fender. All right, guys, before we go to the fender, just remember, I cannot emphasize how important it is to keep your parts organized. All right, just keep it all organized. Here's all of our lights, or our nuts and bolts for the rear light. Boom. And they're all in a bag, and we're good to go. We're gonna put those in with all the rest. All right, here's this rear fender. It looks pretty roached, doesn't it? I think it's gonna be okay though. All right, I think what we'll do is we'll take a little break. Oh yeah, this is gonna scratch all off. You know what? For just the hell of it, before the next video, let's put a little Colonel Brassy on there. All right, just put a little dab of it there. A little Colonel Brassy, man. This stuff, I redid my CB350 with this stuff. I mean, I used a bunch of this. Not a lot of product, but I used it a lot. I think that's a better way to put it. But let's see how this shines up. Let's give you a little zoomed in look here. And let's see if we can actually save this thing. I mean, wouldn't this be something if we could save this? All right, let's just see what happens. I'm just gonna take a rag and just start working a little area here on the fender. Rotate your rag a lot, all right? You want to constantly be moving it. So you don't want to be having the rust that you're taking off on your rag. See all the rust? You don't want to be running that back in to what you're doing. So rotate your rag a lot. I learned that. And oh my God. So guys, how long have we worked on this? We have literally worked on this for, what, maybe 25, 30 seconds? Is that encouraging or what? You guys see that good? Bam. I'm gonna back out the zoom. That was a pretty caked on part that we just looked at. And we brought in Colonel Brassy, all right? We brought in just a soft rag, a little bit of elbow grease. We're gonna be working on this fender tonight. I love being able to refurb a part like that. And then from the Colonel Brassy, you know, we'll do this, and then we'll be finishing up with a little bit of Wizards metal polish for motorcycles. I'll show you this in the next video for sure. The only thing before we do that is let's get these metal grommets out of here. I want to get these treated well. So there's two on the top. These are where our wires were coming from. Grab your screwdriver, and again, just like the first ones, push them down. Okay, don't pull them up, push them down. If you look at this, this is flipped. So the bottom edge of this is actually bigger than the top. Top goes in, smaller side on the bottom. Move this over, and then we'll grab this bottom one. And that pops right out. Just push them down, guys. That's the biggest thing. Otherwise, you're gonna wreck them. So I'm gonna actually create another bag. These are special parts, so a new bag comes out. We'll label them for the rear fender. That pump, guys. Oh, look at that. Next video, restoring a rear fender. Guys, if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe. Also, follow along on Twitter and Instagram at BV Matson. Excited to get started on the next video. See you in the next one.